How we doing, everybody? How we doing today? I am BG31, and this is another episode of The Real, and we are talking with our friends Shantae. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. And we got our little buddies with us. We got a Seer. Say hi, Seer. He said hi. He waving a hand.
And this is Levi. You say hi, Levi? Hi.
Oh, how you doing, Levi? So yeah, we're gonna, be talking today, about parenting. You know what I'm saying, with these special guys. Go ahead and tell everybody, like, what are you part of? I know you do the Eagles Autism Challenge type of stuff. Go ahead and let everybody know about that side of things.
Yeah, so my name is Shantae Douglas. I'm from Philadelphia, and I am a proud single parent of an amazing 9-year-old going on 15 sometimes. My son Levi, who has autism. And yeah, I think once my son was initially diagnosed with autism, I really just wanted to know everything about autism, which led me to building a really big network of supporters and community in the tribe. And currently, I am involved with a couple of organizations in the city that supports services, programs for families with autism. The biggest one is the Eagles Autism Challenge, which me and my son we've been doing since 2018. This is our team shirt, which says "Why fit in when you were born to stand."
I like that shirt. Yeah,
Thank you.
get everybody to see it. Get up close. Let everybody see that
Yeah,
shirt.
so
That is
that's
awesome.
it. And some background on the design. Of course, these are I'm also a children's book author, so these are my characters, Echo Boy and ABC Girl. Echo Boy is actually my son Levi. I turned him into a superhero. Wanted to take
Nice.
everything about him and use it as a superpower for him. I just believe in manifesting in our kids, because if we don't and allow society, other adults to put negative thoughts in how people perceive them, I want him to see what I see in him every single day. So yeah, they help kids that are being bullied. They're just amazing. They're just amazing duo. But also, if you look closely at my design, I have two different shades of green. So Echo Boy is wearing the Kelly green, which is to represent when I started as an Eagles fan. So this is going back to the
Oh
late 80s,
yeah.
early 90s, the Kelly green era. And then ABC Girl is wearing the midnight green to represent my son and the era that he's in now with the team colors. And if you look at the jersey numbers, we are always paying tribute to Kobe and Gigi, because Kobe, of course, was a huge Eagles fan, and we just wanted to pay homage to a hometown legend. Also, I mean, he won his championships with the Lakers, but we also will always love and pay homage to Kobe for what he brought to the world of basketball, but also to pay homage to his daughter as well, who, if her life wasn't cut short, she definitely would be dominating in the WNBA the way her trajectory was going as a basketball player. So we always are going to rep those two. And of course, the saying "Why fit in when you were born to stand out" is just one for my son. It always starts with my son, and I always want everyone to realize that God makes no mistakes when our kids are born. We may not get
Hmm.
it at first, but as we go on this journey with our kids and advocate for them and want the world to listen, you're going to respect my child, you're going to acknowledge him, and he's going to enjoy the things that everyone else's child maybe in a different way, but
Hmm.
I want him to have the same level of happiness in his childhood like I did, even if we got to tweak some things. But
Hmm.
yeah, so last year our team, it's only me and Levi, but we raised $1,400 for the Eagles Autism Challenge. And if you're not familiar with the Eagles Autism Challenge, they support a lot of local organizations here in Philly that support the autism community. um which is really crazy because a lot of the organizations I have used in one way or the other over the years for my son. So I can vouch that a lot of these organizations have done tremendous work, even just helping me and my son. So, and you know, it's a blessing because it's my favorite team that I've been a fan of since my son's age, and for them
Mm-hmm.
to support something that means so much to my family, I'm always going to support, you know, 1000%. So, we do have, if you do follow me on Twitter or any of my other social media pages, there is a link to donate to Team Echo Boy. And right now we're sitting at $860 we've raised so far.
Nice.
So just want to thank everybody who's been supporting us, supporting Levi most importantly, but just embracing how important raising awareness, because awareness leads to acceptance for
Mm-hmm.
autism. So yeah, I'm always
And,
trying to do something in the community to bring awareness.
and is that book like an ongoing? Like, is it like small? Is it like one of the small books where you can keep going? You can keep making new, you know, new
Yes.
adventures.
So yeah, so the one that's pictured in the one I'm holding in a picture with my son, I
Mm-hmm.
have another one called Are You Okay? A Story by Echo Boy, which is basically allowing kids to express their feelings, to talk about when they're having a bad day. Because one thing, and especially within the Black community, we don't talk about mental health and
Mm-hmm.
healthy coping mechanisms for that, for our kids. So we're constantly just passing down generational trauma to the next generation without any type of mental health assistance with that. So I think it's important to start with our kids while they're young, and just by simply allowing them to open up, like, you know, how was your day and what's going on at school, and is there something bothering you? So with that story, which is so near and dear to my heart. It just basically Echo Boys telling everyone, you know, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
have a bad day, but just know that, you know, I love you, I support you, and things will get better. So, and those are the key things that we always want to manifest with our kids. It's okay to open up and talk about those feelings, but also know that we love you, we support you, and it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay not have it all together, because us as adults, we don't always have it together.
Facts.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing I also like to talk about as us as caregivers of our kids with special needs,
Mm-hmm.
to take care of your mental health, because I battle with PTSD, anxiety, and panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can only imagine when my son
All
has a
right.
meltdown, trying to manage that, because that's also being very transparent. That's a trigger for me. So I have to keep myself in check to keep my son, you know, basically even keel, so that we can work through it together. But we're both in family therapy, going on. This will be our third year now. So I'm a very big advocate on mental health, and it's extremely important to take care of that more than your physical health, because your mental can really just rock the rest of everything in your body and cause physical, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
physical medical issues too. So
Nice. And with this, is this something that you've seen right away? You seen early? Like, take me through the, the birth of your son Levi. Was it something that they caught early? Was it something that had to come out after the fact? For those who don't know.
yes. So for those that don't know, with autism, it's something that it can't be detected while doing an ultrasound. You won't notice the signs of it until the child is between 12 months and 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
The classic signs, and this is me knowing now that I didn't know then, was like obsession with spinning the wheels, and lack of communication, or very reactions to your five sensories. So it can be like the lights, sounds, touch, taste. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I know for him, I didn't recognize it at first, because I was working crazy hours when he was younger. I was working these 12-hour shifts, overnight shifts at a hospital. So I was basically like on zombie mode for a long time. So my mom was the one that was taking care of my son while I was at work. And one time she called me, and I could tell by like the tone in her voice that it was a conversation she really didn't want to have with me, but she was like, I gotta let her know that's my daughter. This is my grandchild.
Mhm.
So she was like, I think Levi might have autism. And I didn't even know what autism was. And I kid you not, the only thing that I knew about autism was a documentary I remember watching years ago on 2020 with the correlation between horses and children with autism, and how horses are highly intelligent and they help with communication and
Mhm.
verbal skills with children on the spectrum. So I was like, I got to marinate on this, because one, when you hear something you're not familiar with, you don't know how to process it, and
Oh
then there
yeah.
was, yeah, and you definitely understand where I'm coming from, and then also the lack of support that I didn't have to really process it. So I went through a whole week and a half of crying because I was like, I don't even know what this is going to entail. I had just started a new job. Matter of fact, I was a supervisor at a job at the time. So I was like, you know what? After a week went by, I said, I'm gonna just call his primary care doctor, because if I don't do something, I have done a disservice to my child. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I sit in denial or don't at least get some questions answered, or get, a professional to give me feedback on what I have, been told,
Mhm.
I'm not helping my son in the long run. So went to his pediatrician. She did a when they do those checkups, the 18-month marker, to see if, like, are they pointing, are they doing this, or, and like every question was like, no, 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 he's not doing that. Nope, 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 nope.
Mhm.
So I cried in the doctor's office, and she was like, I'm going to refer you to this early intervention services for children they take patients from the age of birth all the way up to the age of 2. So around that time, he was about 19, 20 months old at the time. So
Mhm.
we didn't have an official diagnosis. That has to come from a child behavioral psychologist to get the official diagnosis. So we started early intervention, home visits, evaluations on top of evaluations. He was completely nonverbal at the time.
Mhm.
And once he hit 3, he transitioned to another early intervention agency called Elwin, which they take children from ages 3 to 5. So he's been getting services and support since he was about 20 months old. He just got discharged from his behavior support team the end
Mhm.
of 2021. Super proud of my
All
baby.
right.
He can independently at school go to his science class, art class. He doesn't need, a support aide with him anymore. And he's integrated with peers his age, and making friends, with typical peers that don't have autism. So um, but when I say this, and people who don't know me, and versus people who know me since the beginning, when I started posting on social media about, my son being diagnosed with autism, it
Mhm.
was a journey. We're talking about 7 years. I mean, from the time he was, no, even longer than that, 8 years, because he was even 2 years old, and he just turned 9 3 weeks
Mhm.
ago. So a lot of tears, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of paperwork, a lot of worrying, a lot of stress, because I wasn't making the money that I'm making now with my job. So trying to budget, trying to keep a roof over our head,
Mhm.
food in the fridge, bills paid. Then I have a child that has autism that I'm still trying to, figure out where his thresholds of his sensory barriers are,
Mhm.
and went undiagnosed with PTSD for 5 years. So I didn't start getting
Wow.
treatment for myself until the end of 2019. So having to manage all of that, I really, now I look back and I say, God built me for a special reason, to have that level of strength to pour into my son, and kind
Mhm.
of put myself on the back burner for all those years. And I would do it all over again. I don't regret that,
Mhm.
because where my son is, the progress that he's making now, I would do it all over again. But the only thing I probably would change is getting therapy early, because it would have saved me a lot of these episodes and triggers with myself that I didn't. I'm like, why am I snapping so much on, not realizing like things were a trigger, and not knowing I
Mhm.
had PTSD. So now I know what my triggers are.
Mhm.
And I talked to the therapist that takes care of me and Levi. She's a trauma therapist. And we've made progress. It's all about, finding your peace. that's something that's so priceless you can't put a price on. And when you find that, everything else just kind of like falls into place. I mean, we're still gonna have bad days, but we can manage it now. Before it was like I felt like it was an avalanche. Oh no, it's a hurricane. Oh no, it's a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's
It's
going up, you're going up. We're like, wait, we gotta calm down here. We gotta calm down here. And
right, right.
for those who don't know, like, give me the biggest differences you notice, like in terms of a kid with autism as opposed to like your everyday kid out there. Like, what would be like, if you were to spot one, is it something that you can spot on site, or is it, is there any kind of physical characteristics of autism, or is it just a mental thing?
Um, what I like to tell people is when you meet one kid or one adult with autism, you meet one person with autism because everyone is different. That's why they call it a spectrum disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's such a wide range of things that a person may exhibit as being autistic, but no, it's really like no tell physical sign that like, oh, they have autism. There's really no way to tell that. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing I also like to tell people that autism is not a mental disorder. So
Mm-hmm.
you can have autism and also be schizophrenic. You can have autism and be bipolar. You can have autism and have ADHD. You can have autism and have OCD. So I just want to clarify that because I've heard that a lot when it comes to talking to me about my son. And I'm like, you know, and the reason I say that is when you go back in history of treatment for people with autism, they would actually place children with autism in the same facility with people who had personality disorders, schizophrenia, bipolar, manic depressants. Some people really exhibiting, you know, meeting the profile of like on a psychotic level. So they were getting treatments like they had a mental illness. So a lot of these treatments were barbaric, like having them in straight jackets and these
Wow.
shock therapies. And it's insane when you go back and you research the history of how they dealt with children who were deemed, I hate using the word normal because, you know, what is normal,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'll give you a prime example. My child is well behaved. So when we go out, it's always like the neurotypical kids. You be like, yo, can you just sit down? Sit down. He's over here like, listen, I'm chilling. I got my headphones on. I'm watching
Right.
YouTube or I'm watching my favorite show on my mom's phone and I'm chilling. Can I have some chips? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
The other kids, they just going, you know, you're sitting back and like, oh my God, like they are. Huh? Can you drink some water? Oh, I can't juice. Drink some water. Oh, come on. Drink some water. So yeah, I think that's like the biggest difference. And also with him, he loves school. Like when he gets fixated on something, and that's something with um a lot of people on the spectrum. He's great at math. He's he loves doing homework, and if anything, he'll pull up videos on YouTube on how to like phonetically pronounce words and like
Nice.
cite words and all that stuff. Like kids his age don't care about that. Like yeah,
Yeah.
he loves video games and all that stuff, but he will get on YouTube and find those videos of like how to pronounce stuff. And you know he enjoys being at school. Like do I go back to school, you know,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow? Like yes, you go back to school tomorrow. So yeah, I would say that's a big difference.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They do. They find a way to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys, these kids today, man, they try to learn as much as possible,
Hmm.
all the time. And like you said, that actually shocks me because, like I said, with a seer, he can say his numbers, he can say all that stuff backwards, alphabet with words with them. I'm like, whoa, you're a little guy, but you got them all down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty
Right.
impressive. I like that. So now that he's a little older now, like what is, a normal day? I keep using the word normal. I'm not trying to use it in that any
I
sense of,
know.
what I'm saying,
Right.
but what's a normal day like, with you guys at this older stage? Is everything gets better, because you said you have your routine and whatnot. So everything's kind of like a lot more smoother and a lot more chill in terms of being able to control those things, or they're still low.
Absolutely. Like when he was younger, it was all right, you know, go to work. I'm thankful that I have a job that I work from home. I was working from home even before the pandemic, so that's a blessing. So I
Nice.
would, you know, work from home, wait for him to get home from school, get off the school bus. Then he would have home services. So they would be here for like 2 hours. So I have to like balance that, still work. Sometimes the sessions wouldn't go well because he's burnt out from school.
Mhm.
Um, Now, because he's been discharged from his behavior support team, we don't have home visits anymore. It's a lot more chill now. I just pick him up from the school, the bus stop, come
Mhm.
home. I'll finish work. I'll tell him like once mom's done work, we'll do homework. Once we do homework, which he breezes through that, then make dinner and allow him to watch TV for another 45 minutes to an hour and then get ready for bed. But before that, it was like before he was even taking the school bus, drop him off at school, pick him up, talk to his behavior support team. And when he was having the a lot of the behaviors at school, it was constantly calling a meeting because me and the teacher are butting heads. Um, at one point getting a lawyer involved because they weren't following his IEP. And anyone who doesn't know what an IEP means, that's an individualized education plan, and that's for specifically for special education students, so that their learning environment is tailored to them and their needs, so that it can build their strengths.
Nice.
Without that, they will give our children the same platform that they give the general education students, and every child doesn't learn that way. Every child can't sit through a full day of school looking at the teacher writing stuff down. And some kids have a 504 plan, which means they don't necessarily have any special needs, but they need special accommodations sometimes in their learning
Mhm.
environment. So just in case anybody was wondering what IEP means. But yeah, it was I look back and sometimes what's crazy, how you get those Facebook statuses like when they pop up in your memories. And
Mhm.
every time, anything from 2015 to 2017, I get emotional because I'll read the statuses and I'm like, I remember how tired I was, how burnt out, getting stuck in rush hour traffic getting home because I wasn't working from home then. I was working in the office, having to go pick up my son and then deal with more traffic because my parents don't even live in the city. They live out in the county. So I would have to go out to Montgomery County, pick my son up, then drive drive home. And I live a good 25, 30 minutes from them. So I wouldn't even get home until about 6 o'clock, 6:30 every single night.
Mhm.
So it was just yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and you're only getting away with this because I'm talking.
Yeah, he's smart.
And then
Let
they
me
have
get
to like,
away with it right
no,
now. It's perfect
right, right.
timing.
Yeah, let me.
Perfect timing.
Right, right. So, yeah, I look back on those Facebook statuses and I'm like, man, how did I manage through all of that? Because even reading it, I just felt tired all over again. Like I could feel myself being like burnt out.
Mhm.
But God pulls you through it when you don't think you can pull through. But I guess everything is supposed to happen for a reason, and I feel
Mhm.
like my son brought out the better version of me and allowed me to see the world in a different way. It causes you to reevaluate people around you and
Mhm.
how real are they in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because once you tell someone, oh, I have a child with special needs, they start getting like, you start getting the invites to parties or going out because, oh, she don't got time, she can't find a babysitter or whatever, so we're not even want to invite her out.
Mhm.
Or people just say really ignorant things that you didn't really pay attention to before, but now it's like, yo, you can't say that.
Whoa, whoa,
You know
whoa,
what I'm saying?
whoa.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I don't appreciate the jokes of disabled people and special
Mhm.
needs kids on social media. Like, that's not funny, And if you
Mhm.
know me, then clearly you're making fun of my child as well because he's in that community now.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a lot. It definitely forces you to evolve and become a better person, so you can become a better parent for your child.
Nice. And on his side of things, like, is there ever a time where he asks us any questions about himself, like in terms of like he's aware of it, or do you just think he's a normal everyday kid? He's just doing his thing. It's not really a thing that he really is aware of.
Um, I do think it's important for him to know more about himself because I want him to learn how to advocate for himself as he gets older.
Mhm.
He hasn't asked questions yet. I guess because my parenting style is not everyone's parenting style.
Oh yeah.
My my methods are, if I know you're capable, I'm going to push a little bit harder so that you can learn a new skill,
Hmm.
but not to the point where I want you to get frustrated that you don't want to do it. But when I see the possibility,
Oh yeah.
all right, we're going to try this. Okay, we're going to try that. So, um, sometimes I'm not his favorite person in the world because I do that. But I think in the long run, he'll appreciate that
Oh yeah.
because he'll say, mom didn't coddle me. Mom didn't, and this doesn't speak for everybody's situation. So I don't want everybody to take that the wrong way. It's just like with our
No, that's
situation,
fine.
every time he masters a goal, then I want to add something else to it, because what's the
Hmm.
point of mastering something if you can't apply it in real life? So that's why I've had that battle with the school, with his old school. His new school's fine. The old school, I told him, I said, well, you just told me he mastered all these behavior goals, but you still don't want to see how he does in mainstreaming. Well, we won't know unless we try. You can't just base it off of um well, we're really not sure. So that's where you really got to step in and be like, no, I know the possibilities. I've been saying this since my son was 3,
Hmm.
arguing with teams like, listen, I know the possibilities with my son. I don't believe in putting extra expectations on him because he's a child.
Hmm.
Um, y'all are looking at it as a case number that we gotta, we just gotta crunch these numbers out, whatever. The
Hmm.
school district, is only going to do so much for each kid and funding and all that stuff. So they're not really looking at the humanity side of it and everything that this child is going through and trying to find their way, and navigate through this world. So, yeah, it's a lot. It really
Yeah.
is. I could ramble on all day about this,
That
but
was good. Yeah, that was good. That's even life lessons you should be with your kids in general. All kids in general. You know what I'm saying? You always
right,
want to, if you see it, push them to try to reach that goal. And then once they reach that goal, that's just like life in general. Once you reach your goal, time to get that new goal going, and a new goal going, new goal, and keep stacking goals. Keep stacking goals to become a better person. And, that's how I run my life. So that's actually good stuff there. Your
right.
main tips for the parents, you know, with kids with autism
Um,
that maybe struggle with it a little bit more than you, or what I'm saying, find it, a little hard for themselves.
um, First tip is, I know, if anybody knows, I know how difficult it is to finally accept what's going on with your child. But always put your child first. You got to put your child before your feelings, your personal feelings, how you're trying to, and I'm not dismissing how we feel as parents, but sometimes we have a tendency, and I'll be completely honest, I struggle with that. I had a tendency to first look at my feelings and dealt with that instead of like, what am I going to do to help my son reach his potential, whatever level it is, whatever is going to make him
Hmm.
happy. You know what I'm saying? So do that first. First balance how you feeling and how you're going to be the best parent that you can to your best ability for your child. The second thing is, when you get that diagnosis, you do feel lonely, you do feel isolated, you do feel misunderstood. You'll have those moments where you're out in public with your kid and you just want everything to be perfect. No, please don't have a meltdown. You know, you I used to feel like that, but the biggest thing that I learned and it cut down on anxiety was, all right, let's pack some snacks. Make sure the phone is charged. Make sure he has his favorite toy. Um, if I sense something is triggering him, we just got to cut the visit short. No matter if we were there for 10, 15 minutes, we got to cut it short. And I will be completely honest with y'all. It took about 4 visits to Sesame Place for us to spend a full day. The first time it was 10 minutes and we had to leave. The second time it was like 35 minutes and then we had to leave. The third time it was about maybe an hour and a half, and then he couldn't take it anymore, and then we had to leave. But now that there are things to help our kids when they go to amusement parks, like skipping the line, so that cuts down on anxiety and
Hmm.
um, sparking meltdowns and everything. The last time we went to Sesame Place during the summer, this was before the pandemic. we were there, and I didn't realize this. We were there for about 4.5, almost 5 hours. So we got on
Right.
the water rides, we got on the other rides. You know, we went to go eat. We took pictures with the characters, and we just had a full day. And like, I got in the car, and I like literally was crying because I know how hard he was working for him to get to that point, so he can enjoy the things that every other kid enjoys to hit the best of his ability. So yeah, build your tribe. It's okay to have those days where it's just not going to go well,
Mhm.
because none of us are perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. You
Yep.
just got to learn how to manage. The easy part is having the great days. We know how to get through the great days. What you need to prepare yourself for is how to get through those tough days when you've had lack of sleep, you don't feel well, or your kid's not feeling well, a whole laundry list of things. But also know that you are not alone in this journey with your child. There are so many people out here going through the same exact things with their kids. But I also want to say specifically to my Black parents who have kids with autism, you're not alone. There is a huge, huge community of us that activists, advocates, caregivers that are fighting for all of our kids, all of our brown and Black babies that are not being seen on a bigger scale of things. I love the fact that there's attention on autism. What I don't appreciate a lot of times is we're not seeing Black kids, brown kids, other minorities, but especially our Black kids, because there's a rising number of um, children, Black children, that are being diagnosed with autism. So we need to see more representation. We need to see representation in cartoons, children's books, movies, commercials. Um, and because we don't see that, that has a trickle effect on the community, because if I'm sitting home and and I have my child that I think has autism, I don't even know where to start, because there's no blueprint of like, here, you got to go here, you got to do this, you got to do that. So that goes back to saying building your tribe, because people are going to help you and fill in those gaps where you don't know what to do, because you can't do it all by yourself. We got to bring back, it takes a village. It really does. It takes multiple people from different um, walks of life and who have expertise in different things to help you. And don't be afraid to ask for help. It's because it's not easy. Sometimes I don't even know how I swing a full-time job, take care of my son the way I take care of him. Matter of fact, me and Levi just did a community event yesterday
Nice.
in North Philly for children's literacy. So that's another big passion of mine, to get kids excited about reading. Um, and yeah,
I like
and
that
also
whole.
you can always reach out to me. If anything, don't hesitate to message me. I'm active on all social media platforms. If I don't know the answer to your question, I definitely know somebody that I can reach out to that can help you. So,
Yeah.
and even if you're not in the Philly area, I may know some people outside of the Philly area that can help you.
Nice, nice. You wear that cape well. You wear that cape well.
Thank you,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying? When's the next book coming out?
Whew, all right. So I'm currently working on a book that I'm trying to get it out in the fall. It's going to be a whole team of kids, whole team of Black kids with different disabilities, because I want to see more of our babies in the special needs community be represented. Ones that I see at events all the time, that I see at school when I drop Levi off.
Mhm.
I also have a side project that I've been sitting on since last year that I was actually talking to a friend earlier. I'm going to expound on that. And this is basically for all of my kids who who've had a parent that's been incarcerated
Mhm.
and didn't have that parent consistently around, because we tend to skip over a lot of things that kids experience because we find it too heavy or whatever. But there's a way that you can present it to kids in a way that, like, hey, I'm going through that, like, I haven't seen my dad in I don't know how long, and he's in jail, and I don't know what that means, you know what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
I don't know how to express those feelings. And um I'm trying to get that out by Father's Day because the name of the project is Father's Day. So I'm going to continue to work on that. I'm going to reach out to my dear friend who's the illustrator for all my projects to see what we can cook up for that. But I promise to try to get that out by June.
That is awesome, because a lot of kids don't work, we got the strong parent, what I'm saying, mom at home. Sometimes it's like they kind of narrative towards a point where it's like they don't even like, you know, want you to even think about that part of the life. They want you to just focus on being the best person you can to the point where the kid does have that. They don't even have a chance to, let it out or even think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like, okay, mom wants me to do this. And even for the parent, to have to go through that, always trying to dial them in so they don't even have to worry about that hardship in their life. That's very good. Yeah, I can't wait to see. I'm going to have to check that one out for sure and give me a
Yeah.
copy of that.
Yes, most definitely.
But yeah. So what? Oh, before we get on to the next topic, what is Levi? I mean, who is Levi's favorite Eagle? Does he have one?
Not yet. He just loves the
Team in
fight.
general.
So yeah, just the team in
Mm-hmm.
general. His favorite Sixers player is Joel Embiid. So he loves
Mm-hmm.
JoJo. So that's his favorite player right now.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Also, like you said, go ahead and let everybody know about the Eagles Autism Challenge one more time before we. I'll probably have you do it again towards the at the end there too as well,
Oh
though.
yeah, no
So people.
problem. If you follow me on oh, why am I drawing a blank? If you follow me on Twitter, Levi's Mom 82, there is a link in my bio and a pinned tweet of the link for Team Echo Boy. Also, if you follow me on uh Facebook, no, do I have the link on Facebook? It's kind of hard to find it on Facebook, but you can follow me on Facebook, Shantae Douglas. Also on Instagram, Echo Boy and ABC Girl and Echo Boy's Mom 82. I have the links in my bio for both of my Instagram pages, so you can click on the link. The link will take you to multiple links of my books, the Team Echo Boy Eagles Autism Challenge link, and yeah, and I appreciate everyone who continues to support us and support the team because it's a great cause.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get us a copy of that book. Definitely gonna get us a copy of that book. That sounds very interesting. So now we're gonna talk about Arthrogryposis. Now this is something like you said, man. When you first heard it, like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, let's go see it. Let's show everybody see it. This is a little seer too, right, guys? Arthrogryposis deals with your limbs. You know what I'm saying? The joints. You see his arms here. They're straight. His
Okay.
hands bent. He can't bend his arm. We're working on bending inside there. You know what I'm saying? So as you see physically in his head, there's nothing wrong. He's handsome, a young guy, looking like his daddy. Yep, yep, yep.
Such a cutie.
But this is like him. These are his legs. See, he's already had what, 2 surgeries now? One major surgery, but he had that back of the heel surgery too. Yeah, he had a back of the heel surgery twice. Trying to fix it. You see inside the picture right there how when he was born, his legs were disfigured, different directions. You know what I'm saying? That
Okay.
really helped prevent him from being able to do some of the normal stuff. So we're working on getting him to walk. He likes to stand up by himself now, like a big boy, and he might have a couple of tumbles from time to time, but he's a very smart kid. You know what I'm saying? So, we're just dealing with the casting process right now. You know what I'm saying? This probably
Okay.
going for a couple of more sessions. And then, he goes to therapy, twice a week. Basically everything's just to loosen up, try to see how much we can get, how much bend we can get, how straight we can get his hands, how straight we can get his legs. You know what I'm saying? Try to give him, opportunities, all normal kid or normal kids, per se has.
Right.
That's our goal as parents is to work with him and try to help him have the most normal life that's possible. He's fun, active. He really motivates me because he's determined. This is like one of the most determined kids I've ever had to the point where, he's not going to let nothing stop him, whether he falls or
That's right.
not. He'll do a little thing where he'll bump his head on purpose because he knows he's going to keep trying to get off that bed. So he knows that he didn't like the way it felt when he hit the ground. So he gets his head
Right.
ready for it and he starts bumping his head on the ground. Like, hey, what are you doing? Stop that. He's like, no, I'm preparing myself. So the next time, like nowadays when he falls, he barely ever even cries because he already knows what it feels like. He's already got himself shock ready, and he loves learning stuff, learning channels. He doesn't even like regular TV. He just wants to learn. He's sitting in front of this YouTube video watching, what was her name? Gracie's Corner and all the
Okay.
other ones. B million, D million or whatever. So like yeah. Say hi. Hi.
Hi, handsome.
He said,
So, can I
no, I'm
ask
not
you a
saying
question?
hi.
I
Go ahead.
wanted to ask you a question. One, just because I like to educate myself on
Mm-hmm.
his condition. So, is this something that you and your wife knew about, like once he was born, or was this something detected while she was pregnant, or how was that?
It we noticed it. What was it like the third 15 weeks? The doctors kind of told us, but
Okay.
see, with arthrogryposis is so rare, you know, that the whole time you're just sitting there in a whirlwind because you don't really know what the outcome is. Like we didn't know what he was going to look like, what parts weren't going to develop right until he actually came out for real, for real. Like
Okay.
it's one of them things that it was a stressful time for us for sure. We were sitting there, we look at the X-rays, they're like, check it out, this doesn't look normal, this doesn't look normal.
Okay.
Um, you want to go ahead and say a little something about your experience with it too.
Hi, everybody.
You can't
Okay,
be
so
over there.
no,
Come
I'm
over
not
here.
giving the camera.
Come over here.
No,
Come on.
no. Look at me.
No, you
Okay,
don't.
so
Everybody, here's Mrs. Bergang.
hi.
Hi.
Okay, so with the arthrogryposis, it was we found out when I was 15 weeks pregnant with him. And they don't know exactly what causes it. They just know that it's genetic, and they know that when the baby is forming in the womb, that if you're not moving in the womb, then your limbs, they just kind of get fixed in a position. So his limbs got end up getting stuck, of course. So he doesn't have any elbows. He has a knee. His right knee can move. He was born with a club foot and a contractured leg. So with the club foot, he can bend it, but with the contractured leg, his leg is just straight out, and then his feet were kind of like pointing down.
Mm-hmm.
So with the casting, we started doing casting around I would say he was around 4 or 5 weeks, about a month. So we started doing serial casting every week. So we had to cut it off, and they had to rewrap, put his feet in the position that they wanted him in, and then they would wrap his feet up, and he would have to stay like that for weeks at a time. And we did that up until about he was almost a year. And so after that, then we started trying shoes on. He tried AFOs, and well, no, we didn't. We did the bar shoe first, and it's a shoe where you just strap it over his feet, and then it has a bar in between it to try to hold his feet into place so his club foot wouldn't reverse back. And we did that for a while, and then we had to do casting again because his feet started reversing. And then we did the casting for a while up until it was time for him to have his hip surgery. He was also born with a dislocated hip as well. So because of the dislocated hip, it put his legs out of place. One leg was shorter, one leg was longer. And then it also, he wasn't able to move his legs the way he needed to. And so they had to actually build a hip for him. So in June, he had his hip surgery, and they had to cut some bone out of his leg and build a hip for him. And they had to put metal screws in his leg. And then if you can see a little bit in the picture with the green cast on, he had to have a cast from his belly all the way down to his feet for 6 weeks straight. So he wasn't coming out of that at all. So if he used the bathroom and it messed it up or anything, they were not taking it off until it was time for him to come off. And he had to stay in that for 10 weeks. 10 weeks exactly. And once they cut it off, then he went into AFO shoes. So he had like a shoe. It had a bar. Well, not a bar, but I don't know how to explain it. It was like a
soft cast.
Like a soft cast, yes.
Soft
I would
cast.
say it's 2 parts of a soft cast, and then you put shoes over it. So that was supposed to help try to keep his feet in place so he'll be able to stand and use his feet. Because our goal for him is to walk. And his feet started retracting again since we his feet started regressing again. So that's why he's back in the cast now. He's been doing the cast for about 2 months now. So then after the casting, he'll go back into his shoes. And then in a few weeks, in a few months, this is February. So around June again, he'll have to have another surgery to get his hardware removed out of his legs because they don't want scar tissue to build around it. And they want him to be able to move his legs the way that he needs to. So
Oh wow.
It's definitely been rough. It's been really hard. Like a lot of crying, a lot of loneliness. Like you were saying, it was so lonely. Then you have your family members. Oh, he can do this. He can do that. Like, his feet are not in the right position for him to do these things. Since like people just weren't understanding. So it was. It's still a journey. It's still we still have a long way to go. He still have a lot of surgeries to go. Like I've met a lot of other different moms who their sons are like 19 and had over 30 surgeries. So it's definitely hard.
No.
Hey,
Take my hat off to both of y'all. Y'all really doing what y'all do for your son. So don't
and shout out to Mrs. Bergame, first time getting her on camera. Woo!
Yay!
They've been asking for it. See, now you got your first debut out the way. Now,
okay, we're back to the Athrogryposis Awesomeness. No.
But yeah, so yeah, and like the biggest thing is just
Been dealing with 4 other kids in the household. We have 7 in all. The youngest is 6 months. So you have to be his physical therapist as well because he has to do that every week, physical and occupational therapy. So I have to work with him. I don't even have to work anymore because he takes care of everything. So I stay home to try to make sure he gets his physical therapy in. And then I have to deal with 3 other children too at the same time. One is 6 months, so she's up nursing all day, all night. He wants attention, and so it's been like. Yeah. So mental health, what you were saying in the beginning, that's what I'm working on now. It's my mental health with all these kids because it's hard. It's really hard, and a lot of people don't understand exactly what we have to go through having a disabled child, and it's definitely not easy. Right. And not for the faint of heart at all.
It made me a little jealous, but whenever you see you picking up his sister, like what's going on? My attention, guys, get over here.
Yeah, he's very jealous.
But it's good, like I said, like it's still like it's a blessing too, like being strong enough to even deal with something like this and to know that that he's gonna have brothers and sisters along the way that also will be able to help him and understand them, to the point where it's like when he's around the house, he acts like he's just like one of them. He knows he can't walk around with him, but he can roll. So you see him rolling around the house. He just roll around to the next room, picking me up, So, and once he learned how to roll, it's just like you couldn't stop him, like he always wants to do it. He always wants to be like, his big brother and sister. So it's like he's not gonna let anything stop him. The determination in this boy is just crazy. What I'm saying? Super crazy. I'm very proud of him. Like I said, it was really hard in the very beginning for me, like for real. Like it was definitely hard.
At the hospital crying.
Yeah, you already have kids, and they came out normal and healthy and all this. And then like they come hit you with this, and then you're like, whoa, you don't really have no real answers for it, And then like with me, probably the biggest thing that I struggle with the most right now would be it's like just because doctors, we don't have no big fancy jobs to the point where we can afford to take them to the exact best guy for surgeries or whatnot. We kind of deal with whatever the best care we can get for them, off the medical or whatever we're using, and like they have limits. So it's like at first you're thinking they're giving you the best possible plan for your kid, but as he gets older, you realize that you only get so many of certain things. So it's like you said, he's another number in the system. What I'm saying, that he's gonna get whatever he can get, within that medium. And the rest you kind of either A, got to do on your own, or B, try to figure out ways to do it. So, I don't really like that side of it because I feel like, in the beginning you pump us up saying like he's gonna be this, he's gonna be able to do this, we're gonna get him to this, and then as the process goes along, any one step of the way takes a little bit longer. Then it's like, okay, well, we're making an adjustment. Well, do you want to get this now? I'm like, well, he needs new casting. Well, do you want to get it now, or do you want to wait till after his surgery? It's like, why can't we do both? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, look, they give you always like ultimatums. Like, you can do it this, or you cannot do this. You can do this, you cannot do that. And that's like, for me, obviously being a parent, wanting the best for him. I always want him to get everything all the time. I being a doctor, the doctors are like, hey, let's get it going. Let's go.
Right.
What are you talking about? And but some, you also gotta, realize that they only can do so much, from what they get paid to do. So, the rest of it, we just make sure we're at home. We're walking him around the house ourselves. We're trying to build his, motor skills ourselves. We have some really nice people that work with him, and they give us stuff to bring home. So, while we're not there, on our weekly visit, we'll be sitting at home doing the same thing with him so he doesn't miss out on certain things.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's really a nutshell. What it is. Like I said, it's just more like we're blessed. We've seen, doing research, there's a lot of worst cases. What I'm saying, of the arthrogryposis, and there's a lot of there's better cases as well. You're kind of like right there in the middle range. Where it's not the most dramatic case of it, but it's definitely not the best case of it too. The best case it could be. So we're just hoping for the best for him. That he can grow and become everything that he wants to be. Because we're going to try our best to make sure that he gets all the functions down that he can. And he's a really smart kid, so you never worry about that. You feel like I feel like he's smarter than most of my little kids at his age. He's a little smart little guy. Like he knows what you're talking about when you're talking about it. He understands everything. He just likes to control the situation a lot of the time.
And how old is he now?
He's 2.
2.
He's 2. Okay. Oh man, the terrible 2s.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Bad already.
Definitely. Oh, don't make it fall.
Yeah, I just remember. Oh my gosh, because Levi, as I was saying before, he's been in early intervention since he was 20 months old. But if you can imagine going through the terrible 2s with a nonverbal child and trying to figure out like support services, I didn't have, I'm a single parent, so it was just me making sure like the evaluations, the therapy sessions, trying to figure out, is this a tantrum or is this a meltdown? Because it's 2 different things. So a meltdown is a reaction to his sensory environment. A tantrum is he doesn't have access to something that he wants. So me trying to figure out like, okay, is this a tantrum? Is this both? Is this just like, I need a big glass of wine because I'm not gonna get this.
Right.
It was always like that. And then it was just like, what's crazy, because I remember when Levi was younger and I would talk to parents who had older kids on the spectrum, and it used to burn me up. And I'm being completely honest on this. The thing used to really make me mad was like, oh, it's going to get better. I'm like, I'm not worrying about 5 years from now. What about now? What about now?
Yeah.
I need a break. I need a mental health break. I'm talking about right now. Y'all talking about 5, 6, 7 years down the road. What about now? Are you going to bring me a bottle of wine? Like, I was really going through it back in the day. Like, I'm not trying to hear it. But now I see what they mean, because you got to trust the process with your kids. Like, your kids are only going to work on their time. They ain't thinking about what mom and dad, our hopes and dreams for them.
Right.
So I do when I feel like doing it. So that's why, like, I never got caught up in, I'm going to do everything possible to try to get this kid to talk. I never went with that mentality because I knew I was going to drive myself crazy with that. Now, I got into it with a family member, like you were saying, like how, family don't understand. They want to interject and like, you're not raising this child. You are not financially, emotionally, and physically responsible for this child. So why are you giving me advice right now? You have no idea what I'm going through. So I always had that one, like, oh, you need to do this, this, and the other to get him to talk. And I said, he will do it on his own time. And we're dealing with a lot of violent behaviors because of the fact that he wasn't talking. He was headbanging. He was throwing stuff. I got kicked, bit, slapped, punched, head butted, my lip busted. This is all trying to take him to a doctor's office visit. Oh, so wow. I'm like, y'all worried about talking. I'm worried about not getting hit. Let's work on that first. Everything got to have like a process. And I was like, listen, he'll start talking when he's ready. Now I can't. You hear him, Mom, can I have some water? Can I have some juice?
Mm-hmm.
No, just drink some water. No, oh, come on. So it cracks me up, like the journey we've been on so far, because we went
Mm-hmm.
from him not saying anything to that typical, I'm on the phone. Can you be quiet? I am on the phone. What do you want now? Mom, can I have fruit snacks? Can I have some juice? Can I have more? Can I? You just ate 10 minutes ago. Okay, but I'm hungry. No, you're not.
Go to sleep,
He
sis.
cracks me up.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited to see what this year's gonna be doing in the next few years.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah,
great.
absolutely.
When you get over that part of it, like I said, you just know that there's a long journey ahead, and it's just gonna be a ride. You just gotta make the most of the ride. Just try to keep the steps going. You know what I'm saying? As long as you can get this started, get this started. Right now we're working on trying to get him to feed himself.
Okay.
And like you said, you get some news from doctors. They're like, well, we're gonna try to get him to do this. Or we're not gonna bend his arm because it's a possibility it might not work anymore or whatever. You're like, no, bend the arm. I see people with, fake arms do stuff all the time. Like, what I'm
Right,
saying? Like, what do
right,
you mean he can't do it? Like, what do
right,
you mean you can't fix that? Throw an elbow in there, like, can we do
right.
something, my guy? Like, but they just want to make sure that they're giving him like the base, raking in. So now we're working with getting spoons and whatnot, like flexible spoons and like long. We got like cups and stuff to have extra long straws on them, just so
Okay.
he can still try to be a little bit independent himself. Let him hold his own cup. It's your cup now. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get the pass on that. You're gonna learn to
Right.
do all the things like you want to do. And he definitely wants to do it. And he definitely tries hard to do everything. So, that always makes you proud as a parent.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, the process.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you gotta trust it. Because like I said, like even like 1 year old to now, huge difference. You know what I'm saying? He's came a
Yeah.
long way. And even like we said with that cast he had on after that surgery, every single movement, he was crying and going on because he was hurt. He's in pain. Even when we took the
Yes.
cast and stuff off, having his legs have to get used to, being able to put any kind of weight on him, or you can't even lay him down without him, crying or feeling some type of pain. So you're not knowing like what's going on here. I thought this surgery was supposed to help,
Mhm.
Right.
And even
Right.
after, like, he gets still stuff to know that there's still more surgeries that he needs to get, in order for him to even get the whole walking thing down. Like, he's able to stand, but, there are certain things that still need to be fixed and still need to be changed around with to make sure he's going to be able to walk, you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
it's still a journey, but we definitely, you know, we're happy we can be here for him, and help him through this journey the best way we can.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's absolutely blessed to have both of y'all because,
Thank you.
we talk about us as, the things that, we do for our kids, but we also gotta acknowledge like there's a lot of parents out here that just be like, well, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I've met a lot of those. Like I've done events where like my heart broke because it's such a domino effect when you don't have a high level of quality services available. Like you were saying, like there's some things we can't afford because we're not in that tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Medicaid is only going to cover so much, and then after
Yeah.
that,
Right.
you on your own. All right, and we already gave you enough because
Mm-hmm.
your child meets the qualifications to have Medicaid, but after that, you like we don't got the coins for that. So it's like it's very disheartening when you see almost like you see parents just like give up, and that breaks my heart because these kids deserve so much more. They need the support, and sometimes I don't like to judge because like sometimes you just don't know where people
Mm-hmm.
are mentally. Maybe they just have tapped out and they just like I don't even know what else to do. So
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
whatever, just let it fly. But it's still difficult because I know me, I still battle with mental health. I still battle with a lot of things, but the person that kept me going was my son. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling you earlier, he made me the person I was supposed to be. I didn't see it when I was in my 20s. I didn't see it in my 30s. I'm about to be 40 next month. So, I finally see it. And it took having this most amazing child that I gave birth to and I brought into this world to force me to see the world in a different way and to have more patience, to have more understanding, but
Mhm.
also be more assertive. Because listen, I go mama bear mode with the school district. I go mama bear mode at the IEP meetings. They know not to play with me. Like, listen,
Oh
school
yeah.
is like, and you follow me on you follow me on Twitter, so you see me going on a couple
Oh
times. Like, all
yeah.
right, school on that BS again. All right, so here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like if you know, like for our situation too, like if you're a parent that have a kid with arthroplasty, just like I said, trust the process, but don't just let them. I feel like you can't also just let them tell you stuff and you just be the parent where you're like, okay, and sit down and
Yep,
kind of roll with it. You got to be in there, that doctor's office, pushing them to the max. What can we get? What's the best service we can have? Can we keep this? Can we get some things for them for home? You know what I'm saying? You got to be proactive with it too. Don't just sit back and, okay, that's what you say about this part. Because they'll just let you, like you said, you're just no number. They're gonna just ride the kid through the system the way they
right,
want to, and it's like you got to be that strong parent that want the best for your kid, and you want to push these doctors, to the max. Like
right.
make sure you stay on these guys and you keep the appointments up and you keep the, because it gets tiring.
A
With
lot of
work
doctor's
appointments,
appointments.
all the doctor's appointments, work, and then
Yes,
I'd be podcasting, so it's like a non-stop day,
right.
all the time. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we hope you guys. But we're up at an hour, man. It's a great show, Like it's. I hope you
Yes.
guys got a lot out of this. What I'm saying, we're gonna do more shows like this you know, throughout the year. I guess this year and all the years to come, because the real is like a show I made up. Just because I want people to understand real life from a lot of different perspectives about every topic in life. So that's gonna come. Mental health. We need to get a mental health show down here. Just
Definitely.
everything that can be helpful for you. So you know that, like she said, you're not alone with this. There are people out here that are dealing with the same things as you are. And some even deal with a little bit more than you are. You never know. So it's just like always keep your ear open and be willing to learn from any situation possible, from as many people as possible. That's been always my motto of life in general. Try to meet as many people as you can so you can learn as much as you can, because you never know who's going to teach you that next lesson. So, yeah, man. Thank you again, Shantae. Go
No
ahead and let
problem.
everybody know where they can find you on all your social media platforms.
Yeah, so Twitter, Levi's Mom 82, Facebook, Shantae Douglas. I have two Instagram pages, my business page, Echo Boy and ABC Girl, and my personal page, Echo Boy's Mom 82. And yeah, message me, follow me. I'm always constantly updating things, things me and Levi are doing. And if you follow me on Twitter, I'm all over the place with my crazy
Hmm.
tweets. But appreciate y'all for following me. And yeah. So and all the links, like I said, all the links are on my Twitter and Instagram pages for the books. For the t-shirts, if you want to rep Team Echo Boy, the t-shirts are on there. I have socks, I have tank tops with the design. Yeah, all the links for all the books. I have a coloring book. I
It's
have Are
tax
You
season, guys.
Okay?
Go out there and support, because you're getting that money.
I always appreciate the support.
we're gonna get. I definitely want to get a copy of that book for sure. We're gonna definitely have to check that
Yeah,
out and get some of that merchandise as well. So yeah, that'd be great.
yeah,
That'd
thank
be great.
you. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you for having me on your show. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely learned a lot about, your son's condition. So, and you guys are doing an amazing job with supporting him and just being 1,000% for him, because that's really what kids want, and that's what they need.
Hmm.
So,
And you
Hmm.
too, it's two of us, and we still struggle with it. But you are a single parent doing your thing over there, girl. Nothing. We salute you for sure for what you're doing
thank
over there,
you.
and keep up the good work. And like I said, anytime you want to talk, whatever, let us know. We'll be definitely there for you. And when we go down there, Philly, we're gonna go visit Philly this year. So when we
Okay.
get
All
down
right.
there,
Let
we'll
me
hit you
know.
up for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, make sure you guys hit that like. Like I said, go follow Shantae. Go get you a copy of the book. Go get you some. I'll say it again. What's the name of
Oh,
it?
Team Echo Boy. Team Echo Boy.
Team Echo Boy merch. What I'm saying? Support it. And much love to all you guys for even watching the show today. Shout out to E. Ewing, Big Play Slay, Gene Swift, all you guys for even coming by and saying what's up. And you know what? We'll talk to you later on the next show, The Real. We out. Peace.